Thank you for the music, Sean. You're viewing DestinationNewry.com. It's our morning program, Monday to Friday, 7:30 in the morning to 10:30 in the morning. Good morning, Newry and Mourne Ireland, and Newry and Mourne Ireland and the world. We have for you now the story of an annual event which occurs down in Cranfield. It's the Family Fun Day, organised by the Coast Guard and the RNLI. And with me in studio to talk about it in a moment, I have got Norman McBride, a lifetime in the lifeboat, and now with the Coast Guard. But first of all, we have some images of the event last year. Sean, take it away. Thanks, Sean. The pleasing imagery there of a summer's day at Carlingford. And that's happening this year again. This is Norman McBride. Norman, how are you? How long were you on the lifeboat altogether? 25 years or so?
No, not just quite as long as that, Rowan. 20 years I managed to get out of it.
20 years. Yes, but you're missing it already, for goodness sake.
Yeah, only out of it since March.
The salt water is in your blood.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely. But you haven't gone away from it altogether.
No. I've changed over to the Coast Guard now to still keep my hand in there at helping rescue people.
Of course. And you were doing that last night?
Yes, the early hours of the morning, just after midnight.
You were called?
Yes.
Where were you when you were called?
I was just taking the shoes off to go to bed.
So you get the call?
Yes, 24/7 we're on calls.
And you were told at that moment where the call was to?
Yes.
And you got in the boat?
No, we get in a jeep. We go.
You in the jeep?
We were in a jeep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did you alert? Was the lifeboat alerted as well?
The lifeboat was alerted too.
They came by sea.
Yes.
And
they came by land.
Yeah, and the location was Rostraver.
Rostraver, yes.
So this morning, in the early hours of this morning, as we were all sleeping, there was a huge emergency at the foreshore in Rostraver in County Down. But it was an emergency that had a good outcome.
Yes, the gentleman was recovered and was taken to hospital, and hopefully we get all sorted out.
Well, we hope so,
yes.
And that's good. Well done, if I may say that to you. And we were discussing just before coming on air the propensity of people, especially in the warm weather, to continue jumping into quarry holes that are full of water,
Correct.
In spite of what happened out at Hilltown.
Yes. They don't seem to be getting it into their head, if you know what I mean. It is dangerous. The water is cold. You get cold shock from it. But the attraction of clear water and cliffs to jump into, tombstone as we call it.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop. You know what I mean? We don't know how we're going to get around it.
Yeah, and of course the problem in jumping in or diving in is that you don't always know what's exactly underneath the water.
That's correct. Yeah.
You can be in difficulty.
Yes.
Big time. And so your work continues, and it was a busy weekend for the RNLI and the Coast Guard up in the northern end of the province. The sun brought people out, and people were going out in things called bodyboards.
Yeah.
I don't like those.
No. As you said, they can get you into difficulty very quick.
Yeah.
If the wind's blowing the wrong way, if you get what they call a rip tide, it can pull you out to sea very, very fast. Same goes for what we would have known way back in the old days, the lilos.
It's an advance of the lilo, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah. We never see the lilos now.
No. The bodyboard is the replacement for it.
But the bodyboard is an absolutely perfect vehicle for being carried out to where you don't want to go, because there's no keel underneath them.
No.
They're flat on the water, and you will be carried often. The chances are often to your doom, for goodness sake.
Thankfully, if somebody sees you going out, at least they can put the recall through and the lifeboat can come round for you.
Yeah.
We're thankful now that at Cranfield we do have the RNI lifeguards there now, which are looking after the beach, and are doing a very good job. They were very busy over the weekend there.
I'd say they would have been.
With jelly stings.
Wow, yeah. That's coming in again.
That's back again this
Jellyfish.
year. Yes.
Yeah, you need to be so careful of that. But a particularly difficult stretch of water there at Cranfield, because it looks benign enough, but when the tide is coming and when the wind is against current, you can be going anywhere.
Yeah, well, we have seen ourselves just out in training exercise, and you say wind against tide there, we've seen 25, 30 foot waves at the mouth of Cairnford Loch.
Yeah.
And looking from the shore, you just see a wee wave until you're actually out in the middle of it, and then it's a different story.
Different story altogether. What kind of people are getting into trouble? Are they rarely enough would you get experienced boaters getting into trouble, or is that so?
No, they can still get it too, if you know what I mean. But the more inexperienced, if you know what I mean, is the ones that do get more often.
Yeah. I dread, the guy who's got a few pounds. Not so much now because of the economy, but once upon a time, when it was de rigueur to have not one boat but 2 or 3 boats in the Republic, especially when people would go down to the sea and they'd go past a boat showroom and they'd go in and buy the boat. And they would, why would I need an anchor? They don't even think, and they take it and they get into trouble.
The unfortunate thing about it, Rowan, is you don't need a licence to drive a boat. As you said, you can walk past a showroom, or even somebody selling the boat on the side of the road. There's a boat, I like that there, buy it, put it in the water, and away you go. There's no regulations or nothing for to say what you can do with it. Yeah,
and often the Johnny the lad will bring his family out in it, or his girlfriend. And I remember 55 years ago, off the shore at Warren Point, I was rowing my beautiful young woman out in a rowing boat, and I thought I'd show her my wonderful manly prowess. And I stood up in the stern of the boat and I dived in. We were 500 meters off the shore, and of course in diving in I had forgotten by diving in I was propelling the boat away in the other direction. I surfaced and she was 30 meters away and said, what do I do now? So, the best made plans of mice and men.
Well, by the looks of it, you were able to swim, so...
I was able to swim, but she wasn't able to row, and then I had to go out and get her back and make sure she was all right there. We were talking earlier about the need to be more careful with life belts at this time of year, because they can be dumped in. We were talking specifically about the stretch of water through Newry, the river, where there is a flood channel there, and the high point, the water, the concrete, not the concrete, the granite wall on both sides is going very, very high, and there's not a single ladder if anyone goes in to get anyone out. And no life belts there either.
No life belts are, which is a bit of a disappointment, if you know what I mean. But maybe Newry Mourne District Council and maybe have a nose at this here, and maybe can see what they can do to try and get something up.
You see, I think really the problem has been that when vandals come along and dump stuff into the sea, that tends to be the end of it. No one bothers and say. But I think there needs to be a figure in there to take account of the vandalism factor, that there is X amount of pounds that will be used to replace, and that, Norman, coupled with a culture that says to ordinary citizens, if you see something like this dumped, lift it and put it back. Because it could be you or a neighbour or anyone else that needing
could be
it,
anybody,
needing it indeed. Norman, what about the raft day? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's coming up now on the 27th of July, which is 2.5 weeks away. We're starting at 3 o'clock, although we have a full day of events, thankfully organised by our friends at Cronfield Shores Caravan Club. They're starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and have a load of stuff organised for kids to have. Phil's Farm, new this year, will have a falconry boy coming down from Belfast who is bringing his birds of prey with him, and he's bringing ferrets for a bit of fun with the children. We have craft stalls, we have food stalls, bouncy castles, face painting, you name it. Everything, Tidy Northern Ireland's coming along with Coca-Cola. They're going to do beach clean starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully our beach will be nice and spotlessly clean.
And that's Saturday the 27th.
Saturday the 27th, yes.
At Cranfield. And it's important to say that people can enjoy themselves there that day, obviously. But in enjoying themselves, they're also helping fund the lifeboat.
Correct, yep. We send the raft race, and it's 3 o'clock. The object of it is build a raft, if you know what I mean, whatever way you want it to be, as long as it's not from an existing boat or a canoe or kayak or something out there. Build it, put a crew of between 4 and 6 on it, go out onto the water. We have prizes for the fastest raft round the course, first, second and third in that. We have the best fancy dress, which is getting very good replies on it, the fancy dress end of it. We've had one team this last 3 years have won it this last 3 years now. They have really went to town.
I'm almost afraid to ask you what they dressed as.
The first year they came as what we call the hippie chicks. They came dressed with bikinis, blonde wigs. They had makeup and all on them.
And were they women?
No, they were fellas. And they had their raft.
This isn't my vision of the lifeboat, I tell you.
No, but it's all fun.
It is.
The second year they came as the cool running Jamaican bobsleigh team. And last year then they came as Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka.
Where would you get a Jamaican bobsleigh team?
That's it. And so the minimum entry fee is £40, which if you have 6 people on it, it's nothing. But the whole object is to raise money for the lifeboat. So we send sponsor forms out with it too. So
where do people catch you? Where do they get you?
We have a mobile phone number which is 07050 375 342. You can get us on Facebook at Kilkeel Lifeboat Raft Race, or you can email us at kilkeelraftrace@yahoo.co.uk. All I need is a name and address, and possibly an email address too if you have one, and I can email all the information to you, all the rules, regulations and sponsor forms, and if not, postcode, and I can get it posted out to you.
Right, and I think it's important for us to remember that at 3 o'clock this morning, maybe not just 3, this man was getting ready for bed and the call came, and off he went, and with his colleagues saved the life of a man who was hanging at a wall in Rostrevor at the shore front. So these guys put their lives on the line. They go without fear and without any hesitation out to do the job of humanitarian concern, and that's ongoing. And all you have to do is come along to the raft race, bring your picnic, have a good day, and get involved and help them raise the money. Norman, God bless you if there is a God. Go well. Take care. Keep doing the wonderful things you do.
I will, certainly.
And give my regards to the lads and ladies down there at Kilkeel.
I shall do.
Go
Rowan,
well.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. You're so welcome. Coming shortly, we're going to help you stop smoking, if that's on your agenda. If it's not on your agenda, it should be on your agenda. The man who's coming to talk about it is a gentle fellow. I tend to be a little bit more pugilistic when I see people smoking. I don't like it. But anyway, he's the good guy, I'm the bad guy. Sean, let's have some music.